Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Bear Share Show. This is your host, Andre Matoyer, and today I wanted to talk about the backside of the 2021 events calendar that we have going on in the gay and bear community. And to join me on this conversation is one of my oldest bear best friends, Mr. William Crawford. William, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Andre. Thanks for having me on finally.
I know.
Excited to do the pod finally.
Yeah.
But enjoying the week.
Good. Yeah, it's you were super strict during quarantine, which I really respect. So being able to hang out with you again over the last few weeks has been pretty nifty, I must say.
Yeah, it's been amazing on our end as well. And yeah, we were pretty strict there, but it's so nice to be on the other side moving into this 3-day weekend for Memorial Day. I'm just so excited.
Absolutely. And, you know, we were talking last weekend about the fact that, because we were asking, like, hey, like, what are we doing the rest of the year? Or are we going to certain events? Or, like, what's going on? And a lot of us were just confused. We're like, I don't even know what's happening. Or some of us were like, oh, yeah, this is happening. This isn't. So we felt like this could be a good opportunity, at least for the podcast, to maybe just share with the listeners what events are going on. I know over the course of May, there's been a lot of announcements about like what cities are having prides and how they're happening, or what's going on with certain staple events that we typically have throughout the year. So I figured, why not talk about this with you, and we can just kind of share what we know is happening, and then those that are listening can maybe go, oh, I'll check that out, or oh, I didn't know that was still happening. Now that we're getting sort of over the curve of COVID.
Yeah, cautiously optimistic here that we're going to get back into the swing of things, barring anything unforeseen. But yeah, I think good things on the horizon here. It looks like things are starting to come back.
Yeah, which is great. And caution too, like, obviously William and I are big fans of getting vaccinated. We're big proponents of that. So get vaccinated, be safe. But let's go kind of through, what we know is happening, over the next rest of the year. So let's start off with the gay events. So we're going into Pride season, right? So what do you know is going on with Prides the next month?
Well, it's kind of all over the place. I don't know if people have been kind of watching their own Pride season. Like, you have some of these events that are looking like they're going to stay virtual. Mm-hmm. Some are cautiously optimistic. We'll have some in-person events. I know one we've been watching, the San Diego Pride. We were hoping that'd be our first big foray back out into the Pride season. But yeah, it looks like we've got a couple that are going to maybe happen here. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So we, doing a little bit of research, it's kind of like what Will was saying. We saw that a lot of the cities are still kind of doing virtual prides, like Seattle and LA, but Chicago, being a huge city, looks like they're going to be back in person, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's super exciting.
Yeah, and I know that I played flag football over the past several years, and I just recently heard that Pride Bowl is coming back. And I'm like, I didn't even know that Pride was even happening in Chicago, but it looks like things are flipping around. So that's really exciting for Chicago.
Hopefully we stay on track. People keep getting vaccinated, and just do what we need to do out there to keep everybody safe and get back to whatever our new normal is going to be here.
Absolutely. But and besides Chicago, the other big one that I know is going to be in person is Denver as well. Over the same weekend, Chicago and Denver Pride is over that weekend of like the 26th through 28th.
In June?
In June.
Is that right?
In June, yeah.
Nice.
So, and then Chicago has a Pride Parade that has moved to the Mean Girls Day of October 3rd. So it looks like they're going to have some just like events during Pride weekend, but then the actual parade is moved to October. So that's a change right there.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Phoenix always has an event in the fall as well. Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
So you get twice as many times a year to be able to party in your own city. So.
Absolutely, yeah. And then did you hear about San Diego Pride in June or July?
Yeah, so San Diego Pride, it looks like right now it's going to have some events in person. I mean, I honestly, we usually just end up at the bars. We go to the beach when we go that weekend, usually hit up the hole on Sunday. So I don't usually hit up the events as much, but from what I was reading, it sounds like they're going to start having some stuff. But they are still being very cautious on the website, saying, hey, things can change. So, I mean, that's all I'm doing this year. I'm just constantly checking, and
Yeah.
everything's a tentative plan.
Yeah, and I think even some of those cities that are virtual are probably, I would say, check your local bars, because there's chances that there are going to be some local events happening there.
For
so
sure.
you might still get that in-person feeling, even if your city isn't doing like, the proper park or pride
Right.
situation.
And I think that's all with COVID.
Yeah.
Every city's kind of got like a threshold. So, at a bar level, they may be able to still do something in the evenings as long as people are distanced and whatever, the rules that they have there. But, when you're talking like Pride, even, like in here in Phoenix, you're looking at 40,000 plus people. So at that level, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to weigh it out and maybe handle things differently. So
Yeah. There's a few others that surprised me, actually, and that is Folsom Street Fair in San Francisco. So it looks like they're not doing like the normal street fair, but they're doing like a different version of it called Folsom Street Market on July 25th. And they're going to have this event called Mega Hood 2021, which seems to be like a big party in that way. But it's like a scaled down version of Folsom Street Fair is what I was reading. But
that's great. That's such a fun event. So glad to see that, they're able to get something kind of getting people back out there, especially in San Francisco.
yeah,
So
it's such a fun city. And I do want to clarify,
Amazing.
it looks like the Folsom Street Market is on July 25th and the Mega Hood event is in September. So they're kind of like spreading this stuff out, which is good. Gives people a chance to kind of watch what's going on.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
What else do we have coming up? I think you said when we were talking, you had heard about like a camp thing going on.
Yeah.
Back east this summer too.
So there's that really big campground in Pennsylvania. It's in Layton. It's called the Woods. There's a gay event there, and then there's a bear event there, and I'll talk about the bear events in a moment. But that one is from June 27th through July 2nd, and that I looked it up. It's pretty cool. They have like a whole itinerary of like different events they'll do while you're there, like movies, pool, or like some sort of swimming.
That sounds like so much
I don't know
fun.
if it's a pool, but some sort of swimming. Yeah, I like that it's organized, so you can kind of go on their website and see what they're going, what they're doing. And again, that's the Woods Campground in Layton, Pennsylvania.
Well, that sounds like a fun event.
Yeah, and that's outside, so a bit safer than inside.
Yep. Thumbs up for outside events. That's what it's all about this year.
Yeah. And then finally, I want to talk about some of the big ones. I didn't know if this was going to happen, but we've got the Gay Softball World Series, which there's tons of gays, from Bears to all over that participate in softball. I know it's huge in Phoenix.
Absolutely. I did it for a couple of years.
You
It's an
did?
amazing fun time.
Wow, I actually didn't know you played. See?
Yeah, I played for 2 seasons.
The more you know. I've known you for a while. I actually didn't know that. That's cool.
I can't believe you forgot that.
Yeah.
I'm part of the reason why you started playing flag football, because I was like, you need to
Yes,
get out,
okay.
find yourself a gay group,
Yeah.
go and do more than just the bars,
Yeah.
because we're so much more than just the
Oh,
bars.
we so are. And gay
And our
softball
community.
is massive.
Yep.
So just to clarify, this one is from August 30th through September 4th. So it looks like it's over Labor Day. And it is in Columbus, Ohio, which I know they've hosted a couple times, according to some of my friends. So that's going to be a big one. And then what surprised me, this was a change, is gay football. So Gay Bowl is actually going to be hosted in Phoenix this year. Originally it was supposed to be
Yes.
in Toronto, Canada, but obviously with COVID that changes things, especially going out of the country. So Phoenix is going to be hosting that from September 30th to October 3rd. So 2 huge sports events in the fall to look forward to, which even if you don't play sports, a lot of people just go to socialize because there's a lot of people there. So those are always a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then, once you get in there into the fall, then you're moving into two of my favorite prides, Palm Spring Pride, which I love. And then we have Phoenix Pride, which was postponed because most people don't know this, but we don't celebrate Pride in the desert in the middle of June.
Oh my gosh.
Usually.
Yeah. People always are like, what month in June or what weekend in June is yours? And I'm like, no. We would die.
Not at all.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's already 100 something and it's, the end of May.
Yeah.
So
gross.
Not doing that. But they moved it this year. So it's going to be competing with Palm Springs Pride. But I'm actually kind of excited about the cooler weather temps for it. I think it'll be fun.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. So Phoenix usually does like a Rainbow Fest in the fall, and our Pride is usually in April, like the second week of April, and then we have like a Rainbow Fest at like the end of October, early November. So it looks like having Pride in November isn't going to change too much because we're already used to having something around that time. Anyway,
True.
But
very true.
But I'm excited for that as well. So. At least for me, I know those are all the big, like, just general gay events that I'm aware of. There could be more, and if you're a listener,
I'm sure there's way more.
Yeah, if you're a listener and you know of more, then please feel free to let us know, and we can always do another update of events in the next couple months to see if things have changed or moved around. But that brings us into the next section for us, which is bear events. So, this is the Bear Share Show. We do have a lot of bear listeners. So, yeah. What bear events do we have going on the rest of the year? And there's actually a lot more than I thought. I thought a lot of stuff was going to be canceled, but I was like,
I'm not surprised. I am not surprised one bit. I know the guys want to get back out there, and I don't blame them. I'm right there. I'm vaccinated.
Let's do it.
As long as we can still, hang out safely, let's do this.
Yeah, for sure. But like as soon as like the state started like lifting requirements, I was getting emails like, "Hey, this event's happening now," or "Hey, this is going on." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay." So I immediately got an email all of a sudden for the DILF parties that are resuming back in
Those
Palm
are always
Springs.
fun.
Yeah, those are always a lot of fun.
That's great.
For those that don't know what a DILF is, I'm sure you know what a MILF is, so just figure out the rest there.
Work the letters.
Yeah,
just work the letters.
And Palm Springs is always just a pretty gay city anyway, so there's always some sort of little party or get together on there. There's another one July 3rd in Palm Springs, and the DILF LA one is June 19th. So there's a DILF party on June 19th in LA, and then one on July 3rd. The big one, though, that I was surprised is still happening, and we have one of our mutual friends is going, and he's super excited about it, is P-Town Bear Week, which is Provincetown. Will, have you gone before?
I haven't been yet.
Okay.
And actually, we have a couple mutual friends that are going. I think I know like 3 or 4 people that are still going.
Oh, wow.
This year.
Okay.
So they're super excited.
Yeah. I want to go so bad. That one's probably at the top of my list of something that I want to do.
It's on the bucket list for sure, but
it's expensive, but I heard it's worth it at least once to go out there and
oh
do
yeah.
It. So that is Provincetown, which is not far from Boston. Usually you have to find a Boston, take a ferry out to Provincetown. It's like its own little area. And
so worth it though.
Yeah.
From what I hear, if you're going, make sure you go for the whole week, enjoy yourself.
Yeah. But actually, I heard it's probably going to be a little cheaper this year because, there'll probably be a little less people, so maybe a little less crowded, but still a lot.
That's what our friend was saying. He got a really good deal on a place for the week. So
yeah. So for those that are going, I'd be curious to hear your experiences when you come back, if it was any better or, honestly, I think just seeing people will make it better after being inside all year. So
yeah, for sure.
There's another Bear Week in the woods. So seeing the woods campground that I mentioned for just general gay, there's a Bear Week specifically from July 25th through 30th. I think one of the Bear movies was filmed like representing that weekend. You know what I'm talking about?
That's awesome. So I know.
What was it called?
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Bear...
Was it the Bear City one?
Yes, Bear City 2, I think, takes place during the woods. I could be wrong. It's one of those.
Don't look at me. I'm not the movie buff, so.
I want to say it's the second one. Takes place in the woods. And
love those movies.
And it was funny. I thought that was like a fake thing, and they're like, "Oh no, that's like a real event."
It's a real thing.
Filmed around. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." That's the ones I know through July, and then Chicago being
Yeah.
all up open again has market days, which I am super excited about because I'm going to that one this year.
Yeah. So you said.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have an amazing
Oh,
time.
I'm gonna have a blast. I'm gonna cut loose because that's gonna be just a 3-day party, which I'm super excited about.
When don't you cut loose though? When don't you? So
That's August 6th through 8th, and I am excited for that one. Something kind of bringing us back to Provincetown. I didn't know this. I don't know if this is normal or not, but it looks like they have another event. It's called Provincetown Carnival, but it seemed to be advertised to bears, so that's why I wanted to bring it up, talking about bear events.
interesting.
Yeah, and that's August 15th through 21. So maybe people will come back for that one too. I don't know if that's...
I mean, I
something-
wouldn't be surprised. I think they even have one they do sometime around Halloween as well.
Oh,
so I'd be
Spooky
interested
Bear.
to see if,
Yeah.
see if that one's back on the list.
Yeah, actually, and I do believe when I was looking it up that it will be. So Spooky Bears in October over the Halloween weekend. They basically kind of do like a minier version of P-Town. So that's exciting.
But more dress up, I bet.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I can only imagine.
Right?
I mean, P-Town's already crazy for what you hear. And,
Yeah.
But then you throw Halloween on it, too.
Exactly. And then kind of going through here, Southern Decadence. I actually did not think that one was going to be open. That one was another one that shocked me, and it is. So
It's a big event.
yeah, Southern Decadence is September 2nd through 6th.
Yep.
And they also have another event going on called Bigger Bayou, which is more like a Chub Chaser event. So
Right. That's the one I was telling you about, the Bigger Bayou one that overlaps Southern Decadence.
does that
So
happen all the time, Bigger Bayou, or is that like are they merging it this year? Do you know?
I think it's a one-off event.
Okay.
We had planned pre-pandemic to go to the one in 2020.
Okay.
But obviously that got canceled,
Yeah.
and we didn't know what was going on, so we refunded it. So we're still on the fence if we're going to try to do it. But it sounds like a great event. The people that were promoting it, and they have an amazing host hotel right there in the French Quarter. It has a pool. It looked like a great event.
Awesome.
So-
yeah, and I like that it's during Southern Decadence, so you can kind of get like a 2-for-1 if you're going
Right,
to Louisiana.
2 for 1, because it's going to be popping that
Yeah.
week. Like
And-
it's going to be crazy.
Oh yeah, and that's in New Orleans as well. Just to clarify.
Yep.
Yeah. The other one, this one I did hear about, and this is in Spain. So that is going to be the Citrus Spain Bear Week from September 3rd through 11th. So that one here is like an international version of P-Town because they're in Europe and it's supposed to be crazy. And Citrus is the main area where this happens, and it's a smaller little town about, what I hear, 30 minutes on a train outside of Barcelona. And some people just even make it like a little bit of a bigger weekend. They'll explore Barcelona, then they'll go to Bear Week, or vice versa. They'll do Bear Week.
Yeah,
and then
I mean, if
finish
you're
in
going to pay all
Barcelona.
that money for the airfare, add a couple days. And,
Yeah.
Go and see the sights.
Yeah,
Enjoy yourself.
I love Barcelona. I've been fortunate enough to go twice, and probably one of my favorite cities. I always call it like the San Diego of Europe, because it's like it just has a similar vibe to me, at least. I really enjoyed it. And then, well, this one I want you to explain. This one is an event that you're going to, right? This next one.
Yep. Yep.
is it?
So it's another Chub Chaser event. So within the bear group, but more focused on the bigger guys and their admirers, whether they be big or small.
Yeah.
But it's going to be Cannonball in Fort Lauderdale. That one's on, I think it's October 27th through November 1st.
Yeah. I looked it up.
So we've already...
It looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, we had friends that went there. I think they had their first event in 2019. And heard amazing things about all our friends that went there. Said they loved the venue. It was an amazing time. So
Yeah.
I figured, what the hell, let's do it. We'll pick that one. It's furthest in the year, so I figured we'll have our best odds.
Smart.
At everything going well, hopefully. And it's Florida, so it's still going to be outside a lot. It's not going to be up in the Northeast in the, October, November.
Yeah.
So
And with Cannonball, I'm sure you can imagine it's a big pool party, right?
massive pool party. Yeah. Similar to Tidal Wave in that it revolves around the pool.
Yeah.
So,
Which I'm bummed about Tidal Wave, but totally understand. Looking forward to doing that one next year.
oh, same here. I love Tidal Wave.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad all the event promoters, they've got to do what they need to do to keep the community safe. And I'm glad we see so many of these events coming back because, a lot of people, you don't ever plan for a pandemic, but it happens.
No.
As we know now.
Well, and then one final event that I know of that's going on specifically for bears this year is a new one, actually. So it's called Bear Week in Key West. It's in November from the 3rd to the 7th. And so I'm
Sounds
curious.
like you can't beat the location, right?
Yeah.
Key West.
Oh, yeah, it sounds gorgeous. I've
Yeah,
never been
for
to
sure.
Key West, but if I hear good things about this one, I'll keep my eye on it. Then that could be something we do, because there's not really much that goes on in November as far as I know. We pretty much start getting into the holiday season.
The holiday season,
Exactly.
and everybody winds down,
Yeah.
and then we don't get started again until usually late January, February. So
Yeah, and we'll talk about 2022 events more in another episode, because I know that the Mexico event at Puerto Vallarta, Beef Dip, and the Palm Springs event, IBC, are all coming back. So that'll be exciting to talk about and get those dates on the calendar for people.
Yep, for sure.
So, but yeah, anyway, I'm looking forward to the rest of 2021. I thought it was going to be kind of dry, but it looks to be full of some pretty cool stuff coming up, especially going into Pride season next month.
It's going to be a blast. We've got our first 3-day holiday weekend that most people are going to finally get to celebrate.
Yeah.
Kind of moving into that post-COVID vaccinated. So
Yeah.
it's just going to kick it off and keep going, and hopefully everybody stays safe and happy.
Absolutely. And for those listening, if you guys do go to any of these events, I would love to hear about it. So you can always reach me at thebearshowshow@gmail.com. And then always feel free to subscribe and follow The Bear Show Show on Spotify, Apple Music, and pretty much anywhere else that you get your podcasts. And then you can also find me on YouTube and Facebook as well. So wanted to say thank you. And thank you, Will, for taking the time out to talk about these events with me.
My pleasure. I'm so glad I finally got a chance to be on the show.
Yeah. And look forward to having you on again, for sure.
I'm sure. Have a good day, Andre.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.